What's up, everybody? Episode 28, Seller Club Podcast. eBay is not broken. Drop that beat.
eBay's not broken.
Wow.
Yeah. eBay is not broken because...
I love it.
I know.
like
I'm tired
that.
of these posts. I'm tired of these videos. eBay
But
is
we
not
didn't talk about that title. Glen just made it up. So.
I know, that's why I interrupted him to comment on it. So
And today we're talking about my comeback to eBay from not listing for 3 whole months. What does that look like? What does that traffic look like? It's sad.
So you haven't listed this year till this month?
Until April through... Well, my last 31 days. This will be April 3rd through May 3rd.
Gotcha.
Of listing every day. Now, I'm not saying 20 items a day. We took it slow. But it is every day.
Shoot,
And to
that's
see
at
what
least
that looks
31.
At least. At least.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about that performance, traffic, sales, everything.
Well,
Wow.
for the people that are just catching up right now, give them a little bit background why you haven't been listing on eBay early this year.
So when the new year started, I was like, you know what? I really need to get back on Whatnot with the items that I have because I have a ton of like snapbacks and fitteds, and I was selling them on eBay, but they were moving a little too slow for my liking, and also like a way lower ASP on this. For some of these hats. I mean, some of the rare ones, of course, maybe like $45, $55, but I just wasn't able to move them fast enough by, I guess, like how much or how many were coming in every week. So I'm like, I need to figure out something to sell more of these, and I really want eBay to be more of like higher end items. I was getting jerseys here and there, but now I'll be able to get way more, and all of them, of course, are priced over $100, and so I think that it was worth my time and effort.
Yeah.
You know, put great quality items on eBay and stuff people can actually search and find. We also give the example all the time. I mean, I have like so many, I guess what would be like San Francisco Giants hats, and if you type in Giants hats or San Francisco Giants hats on eBay, you're gonna get thousands of results. So
very saturated markets.
Yeah, you have to be very, very, like, what specific do you need? Maybe like a certain size that could help. But on jerseys, it's like you want a specific team, player, size.
Right.
Someone's looking for it. It's going to make more money, especially compared to Whatnot, to where, you know, you throw a jersey on there, just like with shoes. Like, you don't expect it to go, you know, for great
Market
profit
value,
margins.
right? Market value. Right.
eBay is way better for that. You have a full catalog of finding these items by searching it. You're gonna find it on eBay. So that's where I switched my strategy. But I wasn't ready yet until I got all my Whatnot stuff down and like a proper schedule, how I'm gonna sell. So that's what really took a lot of time. So I was like, you know what? Now I'm getting more jerseys in. Let's get back into listing. I felt like my groove was ready on Whatnot, going live 4 times a week. Now we're ready for the eBay comeback. So.
Nice. Well, before we dive into the eBay comeback, let's talk a little bit of catching up. What have we been up to, Anna? We know you had some really cool event happen talking about inventory liquidating.
Oh my
Tell
gosh.
us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm happy to report I survived my ginormous yard sale. I semi-liquidated the bottom 15% of my inventory, if you are now catching up or haven't heard me talk about this, but basically pulled 1,500 items out of my store to get 30% of my space back. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was an even smaller like percentage of my actual value of my items. It was the least valuable, most bulky items that I got rid of. And it was so awesome. I was at the point where I would have been just happy to even just donate all of that stuff.
Right.
And I still made a good chunk of change on my yard sale. And the best part was I met a bunch of other amazing resellers. On the first day, there were like 5 or 6 awesome resellers that came.
Because this is a citywide yard
yes.
sale, right?
It
So
was-
everybody knows about
Yes.
it. Did you make any post about it?
No. Actually,
Okay.
I tried to just, throw up a cursory Facebook Marketplace, and it wouldn't let me post it. It said it didn't comply with the guidelines because it wasn't selling a single item.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. I see yard sale posts on Marketplace all the time, but apparently they're doing it a backdoor way. So I just was like, forget about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was the citywide yard sale, so my address was part of a big list that a lot of people had access to and stuff. But yeah, so I wanted to take advantage of the traffic that would be in my little small town because of all of the yard sales. People came from all over. Within a couple hours away, people are coming from other places to just shop all these yard sales. So it was a pretty good time to do it. But really, I mean, it was so awesome to meet some of these other resellers in my town. Just to give you a couple fun little stories, there's one guy who's just a legend, and he has the one eBayer license plate on his truck. And I've seen him around town since I've moved back, but I didn't know who he was. And I just, every time I'd be behind him, I'd take a picture of his truck and be like, I'll have to meet you someday. Like, who is this guy? Well, he came, and so I finally got to meet him. He let me take his picture with his license plate, and we talked eBay, and he was so fun and so nice. He'd been selling, since the beginning, basically.
Glenn, he's been selling way longer than you.
Yeah, longer than you.
Man.
Yeah, mid to late 90s. And then he also has a friend who's in town, too, who's like his arch nemesis. They always bid against each other at auctions, but they're friends.
I thought he was good. Oh, okay. I thought it was like they're really good friends.
They
I was like,
are.
that's like me and Glenn.
But it's like healthy competition. So that was really funny too, because he just like independently also came by and was telling me all these stories. But he had an amazing story that his biggest like find ever on eBay, well, that he sold on eBay, was this electric, I think he said it was an electric tea kettle, and it had some kind of a patent or model number or something on it. But he bought it somewhere, at a yard sale or whatever, and did some research on it and discovered that it was the first ever patented electrified item for use inside the home. And there was only one of them ever made. It was like the prototype, basically. And he sold it for $19,000 on eBay. And so I'm like, now I see why you go to yard sales
I know.
for the rest of your life, because you never know. You might find another thing like that. But he was so fun to talk to. Had some really cool, like kind of like newer guard sellers. One who sold a bunch of really cute, like vintage aesthetic kind of stuff, 70s like wicker and like mushrooms and that whole fun aesthetic. She came and bought a whole bunch of stuff, and she was local and stocked booths and stuff too. And a couple other people too that just, it was so fun to talk shop with them. And they were like, are you a reseller? Do you sell on eBay? I'm like, yeah. Are you? And then we just really got into it. So it was cool. Shout out to Debbie and Mary Beth also. Those were a couple other sellers that came by, but it was great. Like, that was the highlight of the whole thing for me, just connecting with people and getting to tell them. I invited them all to eBay Open, of course. I was like, come to eBay Open. It's virtual and it's free and it's the greatest. And I will literally be there, on there too. And like, we can be there together, which is really fun. So even though there are other local people from around my town, like here and the surrounding area, it's cool that we can all join together and like learn from each other and just like show up to the same event when we didn't even know each other before. So
that is awesome.
It was great.
Did you clear as much inventory as you wanted?
Yes. I mean, I was being a little ridiculous about it. I was like, hey, fill a bag for $5. Like, oh, you like that thing? Like, take it with you. Like, here's a bonus. Just like get rid of it. But I mean, I had, 1,500 items from my store, plus some of my own stuff. Plus my mom threw some stuff in there too. So there was just so much. We're just like, please take it. But yeah, I would say maybe close to a little over half of it like actually sold, which was awesome. Like that's 50%.
And yeah, and I've seen the setup on your stories. It's, like once you see a setup like that, that's really filled. Yeah. And you had all variety, so I'm sure everybody wanted to stop by and check it out.
We kept unearthing more and more, from the bottom of the bins, like as things sold through. So it was kind of like a new sale every few hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really cool update. My update is not a lot. My fishes are still alive. I'm
that's
still
good.
working out. but we're gonna talk a little bit more about stuff that me and Anna are a part of.
Yes.
But that'll be for the later. Let's get back to Glenn. Let's talk about performance. Like obviously you made the statement. eBay's not broken. Obviously,
Now support
it
that
works.
statement, Glenn.
Yeah, now support that statement. Previously on our Q1 wrap up, we talked about how Glenn's traffic was red, his GMV was red, everything was red across the board.
Trash.
Because obviously it was a result of not really listing, not putting more inventory right after Q4.
Yes, red, not
which-
like red hot, just red.
Yeah, it was red,
Red.
crap.
Like a stoplight red.
Yeah, let's talk about like just overview. What were the things that you noticed? Before that, did you notice a change right away, or did it take a week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks, or what was that until you start seeing that traffic start to go, or just you started the sales come in?
So I didn't get my first sale until 3 days in.
Wow.
And then after that, it was sales every day.
Wow.
So
And you said
it
you're
was-
not listing like 20 things a day, but do you have an
No.
average or like a ballpark at all?
My average, I believe, is 4 items.
That's
okay.
good.
Oh,
So-
that's doable. It's not like you're
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
too much time.
Yeah, very doable. Try to get the listings done in the morning in case people are wondering when's the best time to list. We always get that question. When's the best time to list? So
Yeah.
I try to do, morning.
Okay.
And that seemed to be working out good. So I did that and just stayed consistent with it and tried to take, all the photos first. I got all those up and running, and then just every day just list and already have the what I paid for it and everything. And already have the inventory, what box it's in, and just day by day listing. So the traffic, in case you guys wanted to know,
Mm-hmm.
from January 1st through March 30th, before I did any listing, and I just let
Okay.
the store sit and marinate on its own. Organic traffic was 31%, and promoted was 69%
Okay.
from those.
What's the percentage of red?
The percentage of red, organic was down 73%,
Oh wow.
and then promoted was down 83%.
Okay. So you were down.
Yeah, down.
And
So
then-
this time,
Uh-huh.
I did my promoted. I did go down. I did a lot of like hats that were like I promoted them pretty high because they were saturated. So
Yeah,
in this
right.
case for these jerseys, I
didn't
was
need
doing
to.
like 2 to 4% max.
Yeah.
4 was like my highest. So now my organic was 38%, and then promoted 62%. So it went promoted went down like 6%. It wasn't like a huge deal there.
I'm
But-
assuming it's green.
Yeah, now everything's all green. So from last period, let's say April 3rd to May 3rd, our organic is up 128%.
Ooh, hello.
Promoted listings up 96%.
Nice.
And so if you want to do the breakdown on so let me see. From January through March,
Mm-hmm.
my net sales hold on, there we go. Sales was 6,500 total sales.
Okay.
So $6,500.
For
My
3
quantity
months.
sold was 104 items.
Okay.
Okay.
For 3 whole months.
So it's
Yeah,
like
total.
$60 ASP.
Yeah.
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 So for this whole last 31 days, I'm proud to say, sales $11,143.
Almost double.
Oh,
Yeah.
double the 3-month production of not doing anything.
Yeah.
Isn't
Quantity
that wild,
sold 96.
Wow.
That
So
was
higher,
it.
way
My
higher
ASP is $126.
Nice.
Heck
So you double your
yes.
ASP and you double your sales, and hence you did less amount of listing, I'm assuming, right? Like, and you did less amount of shipping. You did less amount of photos. So power of
I
ASP.
mean, he did more listing than he had been doing.
Yeah, it had been. You're right, right.
But
Yeah,
per
it was
capita,
0 to like
it was
9.
less. Yeah. Higher
How-
ASP. Higher ASP.
How many listings have you put up? So you said like what 100? Did you get to 100 listings?
That I did add.
Yeah, that I added.
Yeah, I think it was let me see what it was. It was about 118 listings. So
Pretty good.
but I guess what people don't realize, and we've talked about this before though, is that like you can list new items and then your old ones start to sell.
Yeah.
So when you
Right.
start thinking like no one's buying this, eBay's broken because of that, it's been on here for months. After listing jerseys, some of the golf shoes started to sell.
Right.
So started getting offers on the older stuff that had been there for a while. So that really helped. And quite a bit of those were starting to move. So it's perfect timing, we're
Yeah.
in spring. So that really helped out. Click-through rate is at 0.3 and
Okay.
conversions at 0.7.
Okay, so it's not like it's faster than usual because that's
Yeah.
we've said 0.3, 0.5 is kind of like what we've always seen. Like we've seen like 0.9, 1.0 on
For
conversion,
conversion.
and that's kind of high already. But
Yeah.
that just goes to show you that you're just not giving your stuff away. That
Right.
it's just flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's,
Glenn, with
go ahead,
sorry.
Anna.
With your older stuff that has also started selling through more, did you leave all that completely alone, or did you ever do sell similar or anything with those items?
I did not do anything with them.
Didn't touch them at all.
Didn't touch them at all. And actually, I wanted to do sell similar and go through those, but I was just so, I guess, caught up in like wanting to get the new stuff on there first.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And just get it on like another routine of like
Right.
every day new listings go up. And so I think now that's probably going to be my next step though, is to like double check that older inventory, probably lower some prices on some older stuff, sell similar, and then try to work some promotions or see what I could do. But also what I did was a lot of like I did some store sales, like an extra 10% off
Yeah.
on certain days and things like that. So that did help, but even the daily sales, I was only doing those for like, I'll do 2 days only or something like that. So a lot of the daily sales didn't really impact that. I think my highest sales day was $970 on a Saturday. That was April 20th.
Good Saturday.
Very good Saturday. April 12th was a Friday. That was $826, and that was only 3 items. So,
Nice.
like Ken said too, less items, less work, less shipping. And,
I'm just trying to
making
be
more
like
money.
Glenn when I grow up. I mean,
When I grow up.
Listen, until I find that $19,000 kettle,
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
exactly.
which I will not because there's only one.
And I think, what else was I going to say? Impressions and page views. So impressions for the first 3 months of the year was 9 million.
Okay.
Okay.
My impressions for the last 31 days is 4.6 million.
Wow. So it's not like that drastic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you just did 10 million impressions in
Yeah.
this. That just goes to show you too that, because when you add a lot of listings, you add a lot of impression, right? But given that you only added 120, it's not like you added 500 items that would draw so much impression. But this just goes to show you the quality of what you added, because it
Yeah.
reflected it. If it was quantity, your impression was going to be through the roof. But like you doubled your sales, you doubled everything pretty much, but your impression really didn't double that. Didn't even reach double. Based on the last 30 days. So that I think is a good analysis that I see that stands out there. But I think that just goes to show you that when Anna said, like, I just want to be like Glenn, I want to be like Glenn too, because we all have a lot of valuable items in our house or in our warehouse. And I think one of the things that we kind of like forget is like, oh, that's going to sell for more. this is my problem. I don't know if anybody could relate. If I know it's valuable, I kind of like let it sit there, and in the feeling that it's always gonna go up in value.
Oh,
And
I see.
yeah, but there's no value realized really until it sells, or it will never sell until it's listed. So I think part of probably our challenge within the next month or two is really look for the diamonds in our inventory and actually polish it better.
Yeah.
Right, because we all have, like you said, Anna. Like, did you even relist it? You know, like I literally
yeah.
just scroll through my listings right now, and I was like, I was like, I saw 4 pairs that, you know, I increased the price, and then you know how you run a fake sale, and then now they're not included in the sale. Now they're like triple
Really
the market
high.
value.
Yeah.
It really
And you're
right.
like,
So I was
okay.
like, yeah. So now I'm like, oh crap! Like nobody's
Yeah.
gonna wanna even click that, you know. So I think that's really interesting. And any
Well,
thoughts?
I will not cop to having a death pile, but I have had a delayed pile in the last few weeks because of my yard sale. So, you know, in the process of pulling all that inventory out and then actually spending my time on the yard sale itself and whatnot, like, not the platform, just the general use of the word, and stuff. I had my like photo station, which I now actually have space for in my basement thanks to the yard sale. But I had an area for that was just kind of like jammed full of extra boxes and like all kinds of stuff. So now that the yard sale is done, I can like get back to my smooth processes. And I think there are some real gems in my little delayed inventory pile that was like very temporarily put on hold while I did all of this. So I'm excited. But see, when I have stuff like that and I take photos of it, I'll usually take photos in whatever way is kind of the most efficient, doing like things together. So like if I have mugs, I'll do like all the mugs because it's like the same setup for taking those photos. And then I'll move on to like clothing or something that's different and requires a different setup. So I'm not constantly switching back and forth. But then once they're all in drafts, I want to list the valuable stuff first because I want it to sell immediately.
Yep.
So at that point, I usually sort it by, you know, the value that I'm going to list it for and then do all of the great best stuff first. But, you know, I was just thinking when you were telling some of your numbers, like this is where it would be so great to have your cost of goods in your eBay listings. Like, you know, if that was on the analytics page, that'd be super interesting too, because like your ASP went so far up. But I'm curious how your cost of goods changed, you know, averaged across all of that stuff. And I don't necessarily expect you to have that information on hand, but I think that's an important part of the equation, especially for, you know, really thrifty, cheapskate people like me who are trying their best to not, you know, feel like it's a lot when you spend $5 on inventory. It's helpful to know that, like, hey, when you pay up this much for these quality items, this is what happens. Your ASP doubles, your, you know, all of your stuff, you know, goes through the roof, and it's totally, totally, totally worth the additional cost of goods. So anyway, I don't know if you do have that information. If you do, I would love to hear it, but if not, that's okay. Because we don't have it built into our listings.
Yeah,
Right.
I do have the profit, but I don't know who's listening to this. Just kidding.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
I do have the profit of the 11,000.
Hypothetically, how
Yeah.
much did you
Right.
make?
If I were to list every day for
Okay.
31 days, and let's say I did have sales of, I don't know, 11,000, whatever. Where is it?
Right. Yeah.
$11,143.
What could you possibly make?
Possibly, you know, could be, I don't know. It was I don't know, 3350 ish.
Okay, you know, about you know, a little over half,
1,000?
yeah,
No.
something like that.
So if you
it's like
break
a
it down
third.
that,
It's like a
yeah, it's
third.
about a little bit less than a third actually. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people put into play, because here's the thing. What I did too though is that I should also mention, didn't get lazy on photos. Made sure I had everything, of course, like the 8 to 14 photos that I could do. Number 2, I didn't get lazy on the measurements. Every listing had a measurement,
Right.
because they were all the jerseys. So I'd made
Not
sure.
that you won't be asked 100 times by buyers
I
what the
know.
measurements are, but at
They
least
don't
they're
even
there.
read the description, but
or look at the photos of them.
And here's the last part, which is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Free shipping.
Oh.
Because the jerseys were
just
so
kidding.
high
Yeah.
that I'm like, look, grounded
Premium.
vantage.
Premium.
Yes.
You know, you want to give a
$5.
premium experience. Yeah, right.
$6.
No,
The
I
highest
totally
jersey I
agree.
sold. Oh, okay. There we go. The highest one that I sold was $240. That one I put in the padded flat rate envelope, which is
Oh,
only,
wow. You didn't even box it, huh? Wow.
No. That was only like what, 8 something. So
Yeah.
out of the profit margins, it did not eat anything out of the profit.
No,
I'm like,
no,
I'll
yeah.
gladly do free shipping, and I
Totally.
kept the free returns.
Mm,
So,
okay.
which also a lot of people aren't a fan of, but I
Right,
did both.
no.
And
I think-
one did get returned, just
Okay.
one
Okay.
out of all that.
Awesome.
1%
That's good to know,
return rate?
Or less.
Yeah, 0.8. But that's one of the things that you know, I think a lot of times as sellers we have to think the perception of a buyer, right? When we're listing,
Yeah.
in the example of when you're paying for a premium product, anything over $100, I believe, is, you know, something that that's gonna be a hefty buy, right? It's not something that it's not a sporadic buy unless you're really rich. But when you're looking at listings, buyers are more likely to buy from a complete listing,
Yeah.
a lot of photos, like, you know, not knowing who Hustler Hacks is. The moment they
Who
see your
doesn't know
listing,
who Hustler Hacks is?
Right,
I'm
exactly.
sorry.
it's probably all his fans that bought him all, but let's not.
And then
not
one
talk about
ex fan who returned it.
it. Yeah,
The
hater.
traffic isn't even, that doesn't even matter.
I
was a
just want to
hater.
put a fly in your soup.
Yeah,
Return.
and
Hilarious.
and having the free shipping, I think that kind of like seals the deal, that it mentally for the buyer, you're not
Yeah.
like, oh, how much is this, right? That's why when I charge shipping, it's like easy, $10, $9.99.
Right.
You know, it's
Simple.
not like don't like, I hardly do calculated, because on their end it's like you're already selling it for $98.99 plus 11.63.
Yeah.
I was like,
right. It's like,
um,
ouch, I can't do that.
yeah, so it's just kind of like weird, I guess perception for buyers. So it's like the
Yeah.
easier it makes, and then like also the free returns. I think that's you know, besides the confidence of like, hey, if there's any issue, they can, you know, easily return it. It's more of like, oh, this guy's confident that he's selling
Right.
a non-defective item, right?
Yeah.
I think so too. I think it goes such a long way for trust.
Yeah, and then, you know, like we always think of like the bad, but really, like, you know, all our return rates are probably less than 7%.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, so there's 93% of buyers that we want to reinforce with whatever kind of tool that we can, whether it's free shipping, great photos, fast response time, to just really kind of like, let's serve the ones that won't return this, and the ones that are going to return it, you know,
Yeah.
it'll happen anyway.
Totally. It just happens sometimes, but
And the return was actually like I think it was like a $220 jersey.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a 3X, and the guy said it was way too tight, so he
Oh.
sent it back. He sent it back.
I'm not,
and,
yeah. I don't know, for some reason I just had shorts, 2XL Jordan shorts, and you know how they run really big,
yeah.
and it got returned because it's too small. So
You see,
a lot of people eating good.
oh, real good. This is the U.S. We have
a
to.
lot of people eating good.
Now, if you wanted to throw in some other factors, or some other tidbits in this,
Okay.
4 items sold on Mercari.
I was going to
Ooh.
ask you about that because there's still
Oh.
no seller fees, right?
Yeah, no
No
seller
fees.
and
So
I
he
did.
made more. He
I
made more
cross
money.
listed it on Mercari, and so by doing that, 4 of them sold. So one of them $155, the other one was $190, $289 jersey,
Whoa, Mercari, what's
and the
up?
last one was $120. Now I was
Wow.
very scared on the $289
Right.
jersey to Mercari. I'm like, okay, either are they gonna switch? Are they gonna, what are they gonna do here? Because
Yeah.
Reddit is concerned
Yeah.
about
Returns for any
Mercari,
reason.
and
now.
all 4 items did not get returned.
Wow.
Mhm.
So there you go, and they're all over $100. So I would say list your really great stuff, and not the cheaper items. And going back to the free shipping part on the eBay thing, I didn't do free shipping on a lot of on every hat, because my margins were actually really thin to kind of begin with. So
Right.
you're talking about someone even doing free returns. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this sucks, because now I'm paying an extra
Yeah.
5 something
Mhm.
for it to come back, and my item was $21, or
Yeah.
or $18, and
Even if you can resell it, it's like then you're
Mhm.
just having to pay for shipping again. Like
yeah,
it just is never
exactly.
going to quite come back around.
Yeah. So
But
that was it.
yeah.
That's my breakdown.
Love it. It sounds like
Yeah.
you're doing really well. How has it been just being back in a routine? Do you feel like it is officially cemented into your day now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I look forward to doing the listings in the mornings. And I just have like this goal too of just like the daily sales. Like
Yeah.
even on some older items they're not that great, just get that sale and like keep it running, keep it moving, and there's no need to hang on to like older stuff. But of course with the new things that I list, I wasn't letting them go, even though there was one guy. This guy messaged me every day, almost 2 days, like,
What?
take this for it, and it's a
Oh,
football
man.
jersey, and it's the off season.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told him, I'm in
No.
no rush to sell this. Like, football's not even on right now. It's gonna sell when the season starts. I'm in no rush to sell this, but he just keeps on. So, all the other stuff though, I'm just like staying patient on, and then they'll find their home.
Well, I appreciate the update. I think I'm just going to stand by my original statement that I want to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
definitely moving in the direction of higher ASP. So it's cool to see the consistency of 4 listings a day on average. I think a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I got to list every day. That means
Yeah,
do,
I
like,
can
10
do
things
that.
a day. Yeah, right. 4 is like doable for sure, especially if you're
Yeah.
batching your
Yeah,
photos.
5's
and stuff
kind
like
of
that.
a lot. 4.
Yeah.
I got it.
Five's a lot.
5 is pushing it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give Ken and I a pass lately that we have barely
Mm-hmm.
had any time to list anything new because we have been doing some other really cool stuff on official eBay business. And actually, since this is technically our Q&A episode, we've gotten a bunch of questions, especially just on social media, about what we've been up to in Washington, D.C. on official eBay business. Twice, yes, in May. So we are going to tell you all about that. Hopefully you can be there next time, Glenn.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. That's what we got to work on next time.
Yeah, we were just paving the way, like we had to
Exactly.
survey the land and see if it's feasible for Glenn to come
if
over.
it's safe.
It might be a little too far, you know what I'm saying?
Do they
True,
deserve the embodied presence of Hustler Hacks?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, I
question.
know.
That's
I
it.
Yeah.
can crawl out of the desert and I'll make my way.
we have to weigh if it's worth the 20 listings that he can do.
No.
in those 4
Exactly.
days.
I mean, it's math, people. It is math.
Right. Yeah, it's gotta be worth it. But it was a pretty cool experience. We were able to, really meet and connect with a lot of sellers and also a lot of the people that are behind eBay Main Street, the government relations side. I am the rookie on this team, and Anna
Is slightly less of a rookie, but
It's
still
like-
also a rookie.
but it was pretty cool. Always grateful for opportunities like this that comes up, and
Yeah.
us a seller club. We want to be a part of it, and also individually, I think it's a pretty cool journey that we become part of it.
Yeah, and it really does take all of us. So if that kind of thing is something you might be interested in, reach out to us and we'll be happy to pass you along if you're an eBay seller to this team, and maybe they'll reach out to you and you can get involved. It's really cool. Well, we have a couple of housekeeping / reminder items for this episode, and the first one is just that if you are an eBay seller, if you already have an eBay store, you must know that the up and running grants are open. Applications are open. This is a $10,000 grant that eBay gives away to a bunch of sellers every year. And there's a lot more that comes with the grant than just the money. There's all kinds of opportunities and trainings and growth advisor stuff. There's just like so much more that comes along with it. And for me, I actually won the grant the second time I applied, the second year. Yeah.
So don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. Keep applying because it's a huge application pool, but you just never know. And your story is important, and you might make it into that top spot or that top 50 or however many they're doing this time. I think it's 50. But it's really fantastic. And the application process even by itself is really interesting because it makes you think about your store and why you're doing what you're doing and, what it's all about for you. So it's kind of cool. Like, even just as an exercise, but please don't do it just as an exercise. Go and apply because you could win $10,000 plus a bunch of awesome other stuff and resources. So check it out. The applications close on June 7th, which is my birthday. Not that it's unrelated, but they close on June 7th. That's how I know because I remember that it's my birthday.
I mean, whoever wins it,
you can buy
whoever wins it that day can buy and a really
but to be clear,
cool present.
That's when the applications close and they actually announce the winners at eBay Open. Okay. So this is all connected back to eBay Open, but that's when you have to get your application in by. So go and apply. It is totally worth it. It doesn't take that long. And man, the upside is just pretty much endless. So check that out. And also, please stay tuned even sooner than that for our most epic Seller Club giveaway yet. All the details are dropping later this week. But keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open. We'll be talking about it on the podcast, but especially on social media. All the details will be there first. And so follow us on Instagram, and all of that will begin. The entry period for that will begin on May 24th. So go check it out. Seller Club Podcast on Instagram.
Yep, and also don't forget to follow eBay for Sellers on Instagram. All the updates are there. I mean, we've noticed they're ramping up a lot of activity there. Anna just did a collab post with them, and I just got posted there. So if you guys want to see what they say about us, go comment on those posts below. But it's always cool to really finally have this Instagram just for sellers. That way we could share our story. They could highlight sellers, and also all their announcement will be posted there. And they have always some cool, fun and games during the week with their sellers, with the IG stories. And also at the same time, since we have become part of eBay government relationship, they do have an Instagram and also a Facebook page called eBay Main Street. So to keep up with all the legislation and all the things that we're trying to help improve and we're trying to become part of, in favor of sellers, right? Because we are fighting for us all, representing us, in the White House, in a federal coverage, or also by state. So all the updates are gonna be there, and we have sat down with them, and there's so many great plans up and coming. So appreciate you all for listening. Make sure also to listen eBay for Business podcast. We are promoting everybody because we love everybody. Not everybody really, just the real cool ones.
We want to share whatever we know about that is good. Right. And there's a lot of good stuff going on right now, guys. So check all of that stuff out, and we'll have another full length episode for you. Hope you guys like those mini episodes, but we're back to full episodes for a while now. So
alrighty, I think that is a wrap. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
We out. Peace.
See ya.